What is the best way you've seen a guy hit on a girl? Once walked up to a girl and said I owed her an apology. Could I take her out to dinner to apologize? Naturally, having never seen me before, she asked why. Double quote. I should have asked earlier. Didn't work. But I got a giggle and a blush. One of my close friends and I were playing pool in our dorm commons when this knockout brunette sat down with a few of her friends. Me and my friend both noticed she was glancing at him, but we continued to play pool. A half hour or so goes by and I asked him what he was doing the following day at 6 when I finished class. He turns and smiles at her before telling me whatever she is doing at 6 inches. Her jaw dropped and she started giggling. They dated for nearly a year after that. It was the smoothest thing I have ever seen to date. I had a friend back in university who was socially behind the curve. He would come off as creepy or just too abnormal, I guess. It made girls uneasy. But he was a decent, fun guy. Anyhow, he had a huge crush on this girl I was lab partners with, and I know she's single etc, so I'm just coaching the guy to approach it halfway normally. I say next time he's with me and she's around, I'll just bring her into the conversation and just sort of flesh him out. Big him up a little. And in an hour, when it's all a little more comfortable, I'll excuse myself for a minute and he can casually see if she wants to go out sometime. Later that day I'm at her house, finishing a report, and she gets a Facebook. I'm on her laptop. It's him, and without prior conversation, almost ever, the IM says, "Your boobs are GR8. Dot. It didn't work this time. I do admire his misguided courage, though. Best one I've seen. I was sitting at the bar with a buddy of mine and there was an attractive woman on the other side of him. He says, double quote, "Watch this," and proceeds to turn to face her and introduce himself. They shake hands, and when their hands touched, he grabs her hand and say, double quote, "Hey, you have such small hands. My DCK is going to look huge." I had to put my head down on the bar because I was almost crying laughing and fully expecting him to get a good ol' slap for that one. No. She laughs. And they proceed to flirt it up. Still amazed that worked. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. Yes, he is a handsome fella. But there's no way that should have worked. But god, was it ever hilarious. I was in high school and there was this substitute teacher that was downright gorgeous. Everything a teenage boy could dream for. Like straight out of one of those pornos you watch. So she's subbing my class one day and she says, double quote, "Ugh, I think I lost my phone. I can't find it." So quickly I go, double quote, "Oh, what's your number? I'll call it." Double quote, 943-555-73. OHH, you think you're slick or something? I was so close. Needless to say, I never had a chance. Phone number or not. Back in my senior year, my buddy got real drunk at a club. Being the good friends that we are, we naturally convinced him that hitting on the two beautiful girls at the other side of the club would be the greatest idea ever. He agreed and we told him that he should totally use this line. Double quote, "Have you ever ridden the Oriental Express? Would you like to? Ah cute, how ah cute." We were both Asian. The drunk motherfricker with a shit-eating grin strolls up to the poor girls, grabbed both their hands and whispered into their ears. Both of them looked at each other in shock, then smiled and started talking to him. As the girl was whispering enthusiastically into his ear, my buddy puts a finger to her lips, turns around and walks back. Our jaws were on the floor. Double quote, "What happened?" He just goes, "I got hungry. Let's get some Mickey D's." The entire night we were like, oh cute, oh cute, oh cute, oh cute. Best cut down while being hit upon. My best bud was heavily flirting with this girl in a bar who completely wasn't interested in him. After putting up with him for far too long, she suddenly spins around, looks him dead in the eyes and asks quite loudly, double quote, "Do you remember your first BJ?" Being completely surprised by the question and having a dozen sets of eyes on him in the bar, he timidly replies, "Yes." She loudly asks, double quote, Did you spit or swallow? Tail between his legs. He quietly got up from the bar stool, admitted defeat and crawled away in shame. My parents met when my mom was working at McDonald's in the drive-thru window. My dad pulled up and said, double quote, "Hey, this isn't what I ordered. I ordered a Big Mac, a fry, and a date with you." Somehow that worked and here I am. He went up to her and asked her if she had dropped some random item he had in his hand. Then proceeded to tell her a funny story and that was it done. I think he showed most guys in the club that you don't need to instantly comment on a woman's physical appearance or grab her bum to win her over. My friend and this girl were talking. Girl tells the guy his joke was shitty. Guy replies saying she looks like shitty and immediately follows up with, "See? Now we've both lied and we just look stupid." At a swimming party during summer break, one girl didn't know how to swim, but my friend took her by the hands into the pool, and next thing, he was holding her in his arms, the smoothest, nicest way. All of us noticed that they made a natural couple, as if it were meant to be. My now husband had a bad reputation in college. The mutual friends through which we met called him woman poison, because he was known for moving from lady to lady. Although I was interested in him, I only pursued serious relationships and turned him down for months. It wasn't that hard, since I lived 2 hours away and had a career to focus on. One weekend, I heard a knock on my door and on my doorstep was a book he and I had discussed the last time we saw each other. He had driven 2 hours and was about to drive 2 hours back just to leave me a physical copy of something we had talked about. It totally won me over, signifying that he was willing to put time into the relationship. We dated 6 years, have been married for 4 and have a 1-year-old son. I was at a party. The rogue ping pong ball from a game of beer pong rolled into my vicinity. The guy playing came over and asked a female friend of mine if she could pick it up for him, offering the explanation that he had hurt his back earlier. I gave him a look that said, "I'm onto you, but I respect the grind." Then he lifted up his shirt and said, "No. Really?" And he had a cast around his torso. I like to think he had the foresight to plan it all out. But in all likelihood the guy probably just hurt his back and wanted to get back to his game. EHH. This story is about me. Was at a party. Talked to this tall thin redhead for not even 2 minutes. Cops show up and shut the party down. Her friend asks her if she is coming home with her that night. So I interrupt her and say, "We were just talking and she's actually coming home with me tonight." Her friend turns to her and asks, "Oh, you're going home with him then?" She looks at me and nonchalantly says, "Looks like I am." Never in a million years did I expect that to work. Then we went to my place and did things. Edit. Oh my frick, this blew up. At a fancy party, I was in heels and a little drunk. Stumbled down the last few stairs on the staircase. Nothing serious. Smartly dressed guy rushes over, helps me to my feet. Once I'm back to my vertical self, he takes my hand, looks me dead in the eye and says, "I'm sorry. I should have been there to catch you." Panties dropped all the way to China, I swear. Edit. For those asking what happened in the end, it was a work party and I had to catch my ride home. Shortly after I was fired and, sadly, never saw him again. I've seen a lot of one-liners fail in the past, but just a week ago I saw a 13-year-old boy pull one off flawlessly. There happened to be 2 sets of kids where I work, all about the same age, 11-13 years old. The girls had walked past where the boys were sitting to go to the restroom. Obviously the girls going all together. On their way back, a brave boy asked one of the girls to help him. Curious, she asked how. He asked her what type of phone she had because his was broken and he didn't know how to fix it. So she went over and was looking at it, and after not finding anything she asked what was wrong with it. Double quote. "It's broken because it doesn't have your number in it." The girl's dad happened to be passing by at the time and he was laughing so hard I thought he was going to put his daughter's number in the kid's phone for her. Watched a guy fall down skiing on the steepest part of a run and he could not stop. Skis, poles, hat and gloves go flying. As he is rolling and sliding, I notice he's about to do a bowling ball slam into a girl standing at the bottom. He spreads out his arms and legs and manages to stop, but lying face up, feet uphill, and she is just looking down at him like WTF. He says, "I've been trying to meet you all day." Get a buddy real drunk and tell him to hit on a girl. When he blows it, we swoop in and apologize for our drunk friend. Buy him a drink if required to. And boom. In there like swimwear. Works 90% of the time. All the time. Met a gorgeous girl early at the beginning of a night party. A few minutes before midnight. I saw her again. And she gave me a frustrated frown. Double quote. "Is something wrong?" I asked. Double quote. Last New Year's I didn't have anyone to kiss at midnight. And I was really hoping this year would be different. Guess not. I had been drinking. But not so much as to miss an opening like that. Took her in my arms and kissed her up to and through the countdown. At the time it all seemed very spontaneous. But later I learned she had been practicing that line for over an hour. Anyway. This August will be our 20th anniversary.